I should be live now. Stream health. Stream is healthy. What is these settings? These settings stay. Did you find the stream?
Let me see. I see it. Yep.
Um, well, the thing is when you're on the stream, you're not gonna see my other screens unless you look in Discord. Because right now I'm on like a whole other set of shit.
Oh, right. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch you through stream. Like start just like I'm your chat right now.
So you just want me to start right now?
Just go for it. Yeah. I mean, it's just because like it is just you and me anyway,
Okay.
right? We gotta
Yeah.
just get into it,
So let's.
and yeah.
Okay. So let's figure out. So welcome to the stream. Today I want to talk about um, just some motivation to start building apps and why today is the best time and why today is the best time. I know, so I'm an iOS engineer and I know everyone's been seeing all of these different stories and tools, um, all these stories and tools, um, of people building websites, startups um, with all these various tools. So I kind of just want to talk about like some of the ideas that I really liked, some stuff that like um, might inspire you to start building stuff. I think the best way, because a lot of companies I've seen, like you have to pay to work with them, and they'll show you how to use the tools, and it's like AI enabled human led development and stuff like that. But I just don't think it's like that complicated. I think you just need to have a decent idea, even if it's small, even if it just helps you. And then as you get comfortable, you can use um, more, build more and more complex stuff. I think this is just always start to learn by doing. That's how I learn. So, uh, yeah, so I just want to talk about this story. It came out a while ago, but it just went through. It's on the New York Times, and it goes through a bunch of different stories of people who just built stuff with Cloud Code, which is like one of the more popular tools that people are using to build stuff. There's a specific one that I want to touch on. Um, uh, which is this one. Where'd my screenshot go? Oh no, we don't want that one. We don't want that one. Okay, we want this one. So we're just gonna take this, put it in here. So this is the story that I really like the most, and I think this is like one that like I feel like everyone can just do right now. Um, so this guy named Sam from Melbourne in Australia, assistant principal, um, has 4 kids, and he used AI to build him an app to help with his family laundry. So it recognized, he trained it so it would recognize his daughter's clothes. Like he has 2 daughters, so which shirt is for which. So he kind of scanned each one of them, and then he would hold up a shirt to see, you know, which shirt, like whose daughter, like the shirt belongs to, which I thought it was super cool. I didn't even know like AIs, like the people's tools can like actually use. This is called computer vision. So like what like essentially like teaching robots how to see. So you could see the shirt. It was like, okay, this is Melly's shirt. I don't know the shirt of the name of his daughters. So this is Melly's shirt. This is Amanda's shirt, and then he could hold it up and scan it. I thought this was really really cool. It's obviously something only built for him. And then the best thing is he did it within an hour. So people like not every app has to take like months to build. And then the other thing is he had no experience. He's a school assistant principal. He has like no coding experience. So I thought this was really good. It's really cool, but then also one thing that the second thought that I had after I was like, oh, this is so cool, was this is like a 100% a dad thing to do, of like using a robot to figure out laundry. I feel like a mom would just say like, I know this is Melly's shirt and I know this one's Amanda's. I don't need a robot to tell me. But that aside, I just hope that this is kind of like inspiration. Again, you don't need to spend, you don't have to pay someone to build you something or to teach you how to build it. You don't have to spend months like trying to build something. Um, and you especially don't need a lot of coding experience. Um, so so I guess like the next thing is, all right, so where do I start? Um, well, one, and I feel like I have like a list somewhere. You have to figure out a tool. So one, there's like Cloud Code. So we could just list out tools. There's Cloud Code, which is what this story kind of talks about. Um, there's pros and then there's cons to each of these. Um, it really feels like the pro of Cloud Code is that um, it can literally build anything. Um, that's what it feels like. I've used Cloud Code the most. Kind of a con. Um, it's not as beginner friendly. Some of these other tools, especially if you want to build a website, like it makes a lot of good assumptions on how you want to like structure everything. So like think of like Wix or WordPress. Like you could use AIs and they have like templates and stuff, and it's a lot more like on Rails. Cloud Code you can build everything, but it's like kind of driving like manuals. Like you have to shift all the gears yourself. Again, I wouldn't. So I would say that um, if you're not like computer savvy, because this story mentioned that like this person didn't have any coding experience, but he's probably a little bit computer savvy. Um, so um, so if you like can't figure out FaceTime, or you're struggling to figure out Facebook or something like that, maybe this might not be the best one for you. So there's this like these whole other categories of um, like all these other ones that are like kind of more on Rails. So I'm thinking Lovable. Um, there's Replit, Bolt, Base 44. Um, there's probably even more. Like all of these are a little bit more. Um, you could do like a lot more. I mean, you could kind of build the same stuff with them, and I think they're a little bit user friendly. You just have to use a browser, and it can just build stuff. Um,
Okay, chat.
um, See, I hate it when I can't do that. Um, is Claude the best on ETO? Um, So I guess that's a good question. Um, let's go over here. What is the difference between AI tools, between Chat GPT and coding tools? Um, one, um, let's talk about what's the same. Um, one, let's see. This is like a new whiteboard that I'm using. How do I do bullets? Well, let's just do this. Um, you can talk to both of them. You don't have to learn how to code or anything. You could go back and forth. Um, uh, what is also the same? Um, I think that is the main thing that is the same. They're both AIs in terms of like you can talk to them, interact with them, upload files. Of whatever you're talking about. Maybe there's like a picture of the app that you want to build or something like that. Um, so then what's different? Um, a lot of these coding tools, well, can actually code. ChatGPT can't code for you. Um, Um, so yeah, ChatGPT can like maybe throw some code into the browser that maybe you could copy paste into something, but if you actually want it to like actually have a project and like for you to actually have like code, um, then yeah, you have to use one of these coding tools. ChatGPT does have um, a coding tool called Codex, which you could use Cloud Code or Codex or any of these other websites like Lovable. Um, so, oh wait, am I on the right scene? I might be on the wrong scene.
Yeah, I see your
Oh,
whiteboard.
okay. Oh no, because this is delayed. I need to go.
Just go.
I need to go live. Never mind. Oh no, because this is delayed. I need to go.
Just go.
I need to go. Okay. So what's different? They can actually write code. Um, write code and publish it. Um, a lot of these tools um, can come with like templates or like here's like something that someone's already built like a website. You could start from there, um, and then modify it. Um, you could also um, you can build plans. You can plan what to work on. Um, so what I mean by plan is, let's say you want to build some website. There's might be different pages. It can break down each page into like a separate little milestone, and then do it a little bit at a time so you could evaluate it. With ChatGPT, if you just try to like build, well, one, it can't build anything, but as opposed to trying to build everything at once, um, a lot of these AI tools, like they only can remember so much before they start getting confused. So if you say like, "Hey, I just want to build my Facebook for dogs," it might it'll automatically only try to build like maybe a little bit of each. Um, if you don't like break out a plan, and there's like a craft to like planning things out. But so I would say like the main difference is that these coding tools can actually write and publish the code and put it out there as opposed to ChatGPT. You really can just talk to it and maybe you can shoot out some code that you could copy paste, but you would need to figure all that stuff out yourself. It's like kind of like the difference between like maybe you want to start a business and ChatGPT you could ask it advice on how to start a business, but then these coding tools can actually like create your LLC and set up your web page, and it's like someone to actually like help you do the thing. Um, cool. Um, where do I go from here? So we talked about like all these different tools. We talked about the difference between just like regular ChatGPT and all these coding tools. I would say there's also like Output, Codex, and Cursor. These are also tools that are a little bit more, I guess, like manual. Like, it gives you all the options in the world, but sometimes, especially when you're starting out, like it's might be hard to figure out, especially if you're not tech savvy. Um, to like you have to download these tools, set it up on your computer, and to actually get going. Where all these ones are websites. So what's nice about these is they're websites. They're easy to set up. You don't have to download anything and set up your computer. And I guess the cons would be they're a little less flexible, but you still build a lot. So I usually just recommend people to just start with one of these tools. I haven't used all of them. I only used like Lovable a little bit. Um, um, just start and just you could literally. I feel like we could just go on Lovable right now. Um, if I could spell it. If I can spell it. Um, this is not it. Where are we going? There we go. Right? So you could just say, build me a landing page for my grass cutting business. And let's see what it builds up. No, I have to log in. I have to create a free account. We'll do this next time. But again, it's kind of like ChatGPT. You just, you could upload stuff. You could even talk to it. But then the only difference is it'll actually put out code that you could actually put up. So now we like kind of talked about the tools. Now we talked about the tools. So, there's like, so I guess like the other thing is like, all right, what do we build? Um, um, and I think that's like the literally the $1,000,000 question. Um, so there's like a couple different categories of like the things that you could build. Um, um, so kind of like with this story that we just talked about, he just built something just to help him around the house, and I feel like that's like the easiest thing to like kind of, because I feel like the goal of what I want people to get into is to shift from like, oh man, this this app sucks, I don't like this, I wish there was like an app to help me around the house, or maybe to like manage my schedule better, stuff like that. I think personal use is the um, personal use is like the easiest. Oh my lord, is kind of the easiest to do because you are your own customer, so you don't have to worry about like will this sell money. It's like, will you use it? And I would hope yourself. Um, uh, so I feel like this should be like the easiest thing. Um, so it could help. You could build something to help organize your life better. Um, uh, what else? Um, I guess that's like the the biggest the biggest category. But I guess like we could do some examples. Um, uh, so we could do some examples like um, organize your calendar. I would really say like maybe like a personalized version of a tool you already use. So let's say like, Google Calendar is cool, but I need my own type of calendar. I mean, with AI tools, you can just build your own calendar. Why not? Um, um, that could be a big thing. Um, Build a tool um, that helps. Um, Build a tool that doesn't exist. So kind of like to this point, like they probably no one will ever uh, build you a tool to help you figure out whose shirt is whose. Um, so you can't expect someone to build that eventually because I feel like that market is like so small. But you could build it yourself. So if there's like some tool um, that will help you like around the house or maybe at your job, um, um, either at your job or around the home, um, either for you or for someone that is in your life, is build it. Um, Another category I would say is business use. So if you have a business and you want something um, like a tool that will help you in some way, um, maybe scale your business in some way. Scale. Um, so that could be, let's do a couple categories. Get more sales. So maybe it's like some way, um, you know, maybe it's like some uh, like booking tool. Like so, like maybe you have a business and you have like a service, and you have your grass cutting business, and instead of like people can use your website or your app to like figure out what time do they want to book for, what type of service they might need. That way it can get more sales. um, um, maybe for you, like maybe the other side of that, maybe you have like a tool that's like very specific. So like when you get all these bookings, it organizes it in a way that it will help you like delegate to like maybe you have other employees help dispatch it to other people and like all everybody's calendars are synced. So different things like that. And I guess like the third one, and I guess like this is like something that I've been seeing with like a lot of startup businesses is um, so a lot of people instead of hiring someone for some specific task, like they'll just like build a tool that will essentially do that person's task. And that's why like I think a lot of new companies are going to be thinking like, do we really need to hire someone to do this thing, or can I just like build something that like kind of helps me with this job? Like that's kind of like number two, but it's maybe like an example is um, yeah, kind of like maybe like an AI assistant that will help organize your calendar and stuff like that. Um, and then um, the third category is um, a startup, which is I guess is the exciting thing. Um, uh, I can't even spell this guy's name. Be the next Mark Zuckerberg. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell his name. So this is like so if I could put it in the scale of easiest to hardest, doing something for yourself, really easy. No one else has to use it, or maybe you and a spouse or some friend, maybe y'all use it for yourself, um, and it's just a tool specifically for you. Um, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to look so pretty. Business use is like, okay, maybe you do have customers that will use this, or maybe employees that might use this, but it's not like millions of people will be using this. So doing a startup, um, if you have like some crazy idea that you think that like a bunch of people will use, you could still use AI um, to build it. At least like um, build like a proof of concept. Like, hey, like um, I am making my Facebook for dogs. It's funny I use Mark Zuckerberg as an example. I'm building a Facebook for dogs for all the like people who really love pets and dogs, and like like I want to see if like people will actually use it. You could build like a proof of concept, and maybe it's not ready for like a bunch of people to use, but maybe like the people around you can start using it. And then you could you don't have to pay. Like even if someone were to ask me to build them like a quick prototype of something, maybe prototype is like a um, better word. um, um, Even if I spent a weekend building it, it'd probably run you like maybe like 4 grand, like four figures rather. Instead of doing all that, you could just have Cloud Code or Lovable or any of these other tools build that for you. Um, it might be a little bit complicated. You might need to get like a premium subscription, like $20 a month. I think most of these are like you could use them for free for a little bit, and then you have to pay like around like 20 something dollars a month. That's still cheaper than for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, $4,000 to pay an engineer, and you don't even know if people will use it. So that's something that I think is like the most exciting for people, but I think this is like the hardest thing because now um now you have to think about like, okay, what do users really want? Where's the market? Who are my competitors? All of this. I mean, if you have a business, like you have to think about this kind of stuff too. But like, if you have a plumbing company and you kind of know like plumbing and the landscape and how you can compete as a plumber, like that owns like a business, software is like a completely different ball game. Um, a lot of the same concepts apply, but it's like the different actors. So this is where this right here, um, this is where, and that's a very ugly circle. This is where I focus on. Um, well, these two, um, actually, um, uh, these are the two that I focus on. Um, People with businesses, and then people who are trying to do a startup. I feel like with personal use, I mean, obviously anyone who can come in here and ask a question. I'm like, hey, I have my laundry app and it's not doing this thing. Can you help me? Oh, how about that? But these two, medium hard and extra hard, um, that's where I feel like now that coding has made, now that like these AI tools have made coding, like the threshold has gone almost down to zero. You don't even have to look at a lick of code to build something. Now it's just figuring out like what to build and how to build it and who you building it for. Um, so there's a lot of questions that come out with this, with these two. Um, uh, so one, um, and this is not in any necessarily in any order, but like what to build first. Um, what's the most important thing to build? With a business, it's a little bit easier because you know your business, so you kind of know like, okay, for this is like my pain points that with my business. But when you have a startup, there's all these questions of, um, so this is really for this. Um, I think one of the important question is why are you building it, and I think there's like a sub question of who are you building it for. Um, and there's even more questions, but I think these are like the good high level ones. And yeah, so like now anybody, what I really like with the AI tools, a lot of people, a lot of engineers are like scared of like they're gonna take our jobs. Now everyone can code. I think it's great because that means, um, there's gonna be more people with who can see a problem and want to build a solution for it. And then they'll need help, especially if you're doing a startup. And these AI tools in general, they will do what you say, but not always what you want. So especially when you get to like, oh, I want to build a software business or a startup, um, figuring out like what do you want is going to be the key skill, which is what I help with, is making sure that want is an actual want, and not some fairyland thing. Um, that's really it. Um, yeah, I think that'll be it for today. Um, we talked about a lot. Talked about some cool stories. Talked about different tools and how they're different from ChatGPT. Um, Talked about building stuff. Um, yeah, so we'll call it for today. Figure out maybe another story to talk about, like maybe one of these examples, um, and we'll talk about it for next time. All right. Well, with that, I guess we'll call it. So thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you next time. See ya.